Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, especially in the strong style cinephile. And if you're watching this, it means the world has not come to an end. Yes, I know that She-Hulk twerked in the last episode of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, but we're still here. It wasn't the end times, wasn't the sign of the apocalypse and all that kind of stuff. Deep in the book of Revelations, there wasn't a chapter about, when She-Hulk claps her jolly green cheeks, it'll bring about, the end of the world. Bring about rapture and all that kind of stuff. It didn't happen. Okay, so let's chill out on that. Anyway, latest episode, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Let's geek about it for a scant few minutes. Now, this episode had another Wong appearance in it as he was going at, and it's just funny to kind of see these kind of like ground level, citizen level sort of issues that people are having within the constraints of the MCU. Now, Wong wants to go after another magician who used to be a student at Kamartaj of the Mystic Arts, and he just dropped out, kicked out because he was doing shenanigans with the magic. And Wong basically wants him to stop using his magic because Wong sees it as dangerous. This dude just wants to make money, and hilarity ensues as this case proceeds. And it's just, that's the A-plot of it. I'm here for it. I laughed, I chuckled. Seeing Wong, just the seriousness of him juxtaposed against some of the more humorous stuff that's going on within the episode. It's just funny. It's funny stuff. Hopefully, because Wong is basically becoming like this phase is a version of Coulson. So hopefully he won't be overused or just, I don't want to get diminishing returns from his continued appearances across the MCU in these different projects and stuff like that. The other side of this was Jen actually entering the dating world and kind of having no luck as Jen, having lots of luck as She-Hulk. And I think that's going to be an interesting thing, depending on how they explore it. The fact that, like, Jen has this other person inside her that people gravitate to more. Like, she's a wallflower, but She-Hulk stands out, and people want She-Hulk. So how does that kind of mess with your psyche, like your mind, just who you are, knowing that like you're Jen. At the end of the day, you're still like, you can turn into this. As she says, She-Hulk is something that she can do. It doesn't make her, but people are making that the main thing. People are making that her. So how does that kind of mess with you when you're like, you just want to be yourself, and people just don't want you, as seen in this, where she goes on a bunch of dates. It's funny stuff, how they all go wrong. Then she meets this dude. He's a doctor, and he's saying all the right things. He just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I thought it was going to come out where he was just going to be trying to get her into bed because she was She-Hulk or whatever. But he seemed to be on the up and up, mostly. And outside of dealing with some shenanigans from Donnie Blaze, the fake magician who calls for some demons from another dimension or something, Jen gets called away for that. Comes back home, takes the guy to bed. Adult stuff happens. We know what went down. But the next morning, like, she's just Jen. The dude comes out and he's like, who are you? And she's like, I'm Jen, just regular old Jen. He's like, okay, I'm going to go. So it just felt very much like he was just wanting to sleep with She-Hulk, which he did. And it's just dealing with that, where Jen is like, just wants to be herself, but people don't want her. And that was a clear-cut example where this dude was like, as soon as he found out, as soon as he saw her, he was like, oh, deuces, I'm out. So how does that mess with her going forth? So that would be potentially interesting stuff, an interesting thread to kind of pursue, to kind of tug at a little bit if they choose to go the route, because it's kind of more of a serious, introspective type of topic, and are we going to approach that in this comedy series? It needs to be seen. The episode closed with the fact that Jen got served papers for trademark infringement, because Titania, apparently, who got out of jail, and Titania in this series is a superpowered influencer. She apparently trademarked the name She-Hulk before Jen did, because Jen didn't think to do that, because Jen really didn't want to be called She-Hulk, but then it kind of grew on her. So now she's going to have to deal with Titania in the next episode, trying to take her name from her. So it'll be interesting. I'm sure hilarity will ensue. There's another trailer that dropped, kind of a mid-season-y sort of trailer that gave us some more looks at Daredevil, Charlie Cox as Daredevil, and how he's going to come in. It seems like he's going to come in as kind of maybe a mentor to kind of give Jen tips on how to balance being She-Hulk and also being Jen. I'm also going to see him in the suit. The suit, we can see, has some yellow to it. We know Daredevil at one point in the comics wore like that yellow looking suit. So I'm kind of wondering if that's the way they're gonna go. Why they're going that way? We know that this Daredevil and this is kind of like a reboot-ish of the Netflix Daredevil. Like, it's still Charlie Cox, but it's not so much that Daredevil. They're retooling him a little bit for this show, hence the costume maybe. But I'm wondering if he's going to stick with that or if he's going to go with the traditional red stuff. Is he going to just be in one episode, or is it going to be in more than one episode? Remains to be seen. We also see some shots of Titania and Jen brawling, and again, they brawled in the comics a lot, and then they kind of worked things out and became like sort of BFFs. They still scrap, and they agreed in the last comics that I read with them scrapping. They kind of agreed the fact that they don't really dislike each other, and they kind of agreed to meet every now and again when they need to blow off some steam and just punch each other. So I'm kind of wondering if we're going to get to that point with them in the series. Remains to be seen. But all in all, it was a fun episode. Fun stuff is to come with Titania and with, of course, Charlie Cox. Daredevil is what everybody wants to see. We're going to see some Frogman eventually. Who knows what other cameos and stuff will pop up between now and, I guess, the next 5 episodes, which is all we got left because there's like 9. But remains to be seen. I'm in for the show. Huge Jennifer Walters fan, huge She-Hulk fan. I'm loving the show. I watch it, I laugh, and I have a good time with it. And that's what we're all about. It's just having a good time, not getting caught up with the fact that, yes, She-Hulk twerked. Even though Tobey Maguire did that stupid dance in Spider-Man 3, Star-Lord danced, had a dance-off to save the universe. Tony Stark danced and peed in his Iron Man armor. Baron Zemo did the dancing stuff in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but yet we have a problem when She-Hulk does it. So it's just, like, come on, people. Like, we know, like, the... whatever. Anyway, I'm done. Anyway, She-Hulk, episode 4, awesome. Check it out if you haven't. And just keep watching the show, because it's great. Anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Scattered as they often are. Videos out there. Think, let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Till next time, let us geek.